Good evening. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. Tonight we're going to take a look at the magical world of Disney. And at one time, Disney did seem to be a magical world, and every effort was taken to make it appear that way. However, in recent times, there's been a lot of press, some of it suppressed, that hasn't been as favorable about Disney. Walt Disney himself and Disneyland in general. Let's take a little bit of a look at what's going on. Now, first of all, as you know, I like to look at different sources before I come on screen with things. Let's look at something that Disney Corporation themselves has put out. This was shortly before Shanghai and Hong Kong Disney have closed indefinitely. And it's worth noting that that was on March 25th, which predated the Shanghai lockdowns. So the park was a ghost town before that. So they were suffering economically. I don't know if, I think probably these two particular locations had less to do with COVID measures than other places, because the citizens of Shanghai and Hong Kong are fairly accustomed to some of those stricter measures, masking, testing, things like that. So I wondered, what's causing Disney to have a little bit of trouble? I thought, could it be the arrest scandals that are happening with Disney employees as they are repeatedly caught in stings? Now, I do know that there was a apparently false rumor on the internet that the CEO of Disney had been arrested on child trafficking. That was just a rumor and it's been disproven. But what hasn't been disproven is the fact that numerous times in stings, Disney employees have been caught in child trafficking and human trafficking issues. For a moment, I'll try to share that with you. Let's see here. So here we have New York Post from March 17th. Disney employees were listed among the 108 arrested. Now, they weren't all from Disney, but there were Disney employees here. That can happen anywhere, right? Well, it could, except there's more than one instance where there have been arrests involving Disney employees, okay, in child sex stings and trafficking stings. So it's adding up to a picture where the Magic Kingdom may not be quite as magical as before. There are tunneling systems under all Disneylands. They were called the Utilidor. You can check Wikipedia about them. They've long been reports and human trafficking survivors that have spoken about being taken into Disney parks after closing and down into those corridors. And there's a consistency and just a horrifying cohesion to their stories that tends to give it credibility. So then today in the news, you know, the governor of Florida, Mr. DeSantis, and Disney have been dueling it out. And I have a little trouble having sympathy for Disney in this, because their business should be entertainment and making a profit. And they've chosen to spoke out numerous times on political issues. And once you make politics your business, well, you've kind of gone, business has become your politics. So they didn't like the House Bill 1557 that the Florida legislature passed. It had nothing to do with Disney theme parks at all. Now, they renamed that the Don't Say Gay bill, but it's called the Parental Rights in Education. And the reason they gave it a different nickname, because the word gay doesn't show up anywhere in the bill, and I read it, they said that because, you know, parental rights are important. So they had to make it seem like a cancel culture woke type of issue that they were taking place. Why are they even commenting? As a parent and grandparent and educator, I think parents should have unlimited rights to know what their children are being taught, to approve of that curriculum, and they have the right to not participate in programs that they don't want their child to participate in. For example, I know schools I've taught in, we get parent permission before we do the basic, adolescent type of education for kids on how their bodies might be changing and things like that. There's always one or two parents that view and want to do that at home. That should be supported nationwide. It shouldn't even need legislation. And there's times when schools need to remember to stick with their basics, and there's some values that you just can't call universal. And there's some rights parents, if they want them, should have them. Whether it's when to introduce certain facts and information, that's their choice. And I think it should be honored. Well, Disney stepped into the political realm. And today, just a few hours ago, the Florida Senate did pass something, and Florida parks, or Disney parks, are among the counties affected. They've lost their self-governance, which means they're not going to be like little magic kingdoms that aren't accountable to anybody. And I understand that Colorado's telling them come there. They love the woke culture, so who knows, they may relocate. But let's just take a quick look tonight and see what the universe has to say about Disney Corporation. They're falling shares, they're empty parks, they're blaming it on COVID, they're blaming it on all sorts of things. But of course, it has nothing to do with that old adage of go woke, go broke, does it? Let's ask the cards and see what they have to say. Again, we're asking the universe, does Disney's culture of political stances have to do with their falling share prices and declining attendance in parks? We aren't concerned about Disney Shanghai or Disney Hong Kong because we understand they're closed indefinitely and may have a different reason. But overall, what does the universe want us to know about Disney Corporation? Here we go. We're asking about some of the changing fortunes of Disney and what we need to know about the corporation. They do have changing fortunes going on. They really, they need to be looking at the way they do business in a whole different way. They've done apparently a little too much mixing of political with their economic stuff. Again, go woke, go broke. That's become a saying that has more and more validity to it, and people are realizing their power in the pocketbook. In the past, Disney was a place of much prosperity, and shareholders were loving their stock prices booming. Right now, that's kind of in change. The chariot often comes up when there's a move that's anticipated. Now, we've had some moves happening with their tax protections. There's been some moves happening with their self-governance. There may even be moves happening with them moving from Florida to Colorado. Who knows? By the way, sometime we're going to take a look at the Denver airport. That's a lovely place. So they're only making a portion of what they used to make, and that's going to continue unless things change in some fashion. Will they? Won't they? We may have to do a second read here to get some information about that. Okay, right now they're hanging on to as much as they can of their worth and profits, but it's not going very well for them. And part of that is going to be impacted by the fact that more and more truth is going to come out about how unmagical that Magic Kingdom can be and how unsafe it's been for people at times and for not just the politics, okay, but for some really, really disgusting and horrifying behavior. Okay, I'm going to shuffle the cards again, and we're probably going to do a second read here. Hang on. A real quick question then for the universe. In the coming year, what advice does the universe have for Disney shareholders or people that were thinking they might still want to have a Disney experience? What does the universe have to say for the coming year? So in 1 year, up to 1 year's time, should you be unloading those stocks? Let's see what the cards have to say. Or should you still be planning that Disney vacation? We're going to ask the cards and see what they have to say here. Just a moment, I'll change the pen one more time, and thank you for your patience. Okay, what does the universe want us to know about proposed visits, people planning trips to Disneyland, or shareholders? What in the coming year, what does the universe want us to know about Disney? Do it or dump it. Let's see. Interesting. Well, this is a defeat card. We're asking the status of Disney. And this card signifies a lot of heartbreak and lies. So I think that the stories coming out about heartbreak experienced at Disney or at the hands of Disney in Disney tunnels and stuff should be given some very, very real credibility. In the past, Queen of Cups, she can be sad, she can be all sorts of things. But what she is about emotional intelligence. And so we're being told to use our intelligence and make wise choices about participating with Disney in either products or subscriptions or park attendance. Temperance is about moderation, and we need to kind of be moderating our participation with the company. I would say, and I don't give financial advice, but if I was a shareholder in Disney, I would be getting rid of it sooner rather than later. Ace of Swords is a justice card, and there is going to be more coming out about Disney. And this is justice. Look, there's going to be a lot of fighting about trying to keep it kind of quiet on the down low. But it's coming out. There's more coming out. So there's more to find out in the future about Disney. And it's not looking like it's going to be great. We're being told to use good judgment. If your good judgment says to plan a different type of family vacation, please do so. And if your good judgment tells you to dump those shares, do that too. It's all up to you. Use your discretion and use your discernment. That's it for tonight with this video. If you liked what I shared, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for every one of you that helped me with my little project here. Till next time, stay safe.